Hey now, it's Ruben with Help Find the Others. How you guys doing? Yeah, sorry it's been a while since I've posted any videos. I'm in a big breathing in period of the cycle of my life, and haven't felt a lot of motivation to really get any info or insight out there. I'm just kind of taking in and ingesting, um, getting ready for the next phase of flow cycle or whatever, where I feel like I have information to share. I guess I don't know. I'm up here with an overlook of city of Cincinnati. There's this little Garden of Hope, it's called. It's like a I don't know. I think a Franciscan created this. I'll walk down here. They recreated the tomb of Jesus, and it's up on this hilltop in Kentucky. But anyway, as always, I'm grateful for everyone that watches my videos and takes part in the Discord. Definitely grateful for the Discord. I mean, I'm still active on there, obviously, and everyone on there that we have a daily discourse together. I hope you guys know I consider you some of the better friends I've ever made in my life. So definitely grateful for all you guys. Here's the tomb. It's I don't know why the guy created this. It's not even like a public park. I don't really know what it is. It's like on a dead-end road on a hill overlooking Cincinnati from the Kentucky side. But actually, my first house I bought was right down the hill here, so that's how I found out about this place. And when they do the fireworks in Cincinnati, you can come up here and have a really good view of them. So we used to walk up here and do that, and just come up here. People come and take care of it and donate money, and it's winter now, obviously, but during the summer and stuff, there's really nice flowers. It's a really pretty, peaceful place to just come and take in the city. But anyway, that's not what that's just the location of this video. That's not what I was making the video to talk about. So yesterday saw that an article that the results were published for the microdosing study that I took part in. And I was going to make a video to, kind of share my thoughts about that. And then I didn't. And then I was listening to Hamilton Morris on the Joe Rogan podcast today. And he mentioned that he had just gotten an email about it and was talking about it. And so I was like, I better make a video to share my thoughts. That's a sign or whatever. So anyway, well, first off, I'm really glad that I got to be a part of that study and how kind of a landmark moment it is for psychedelics. I will say I thought it was a larger study than it was. So Hamilton Morris in the Rogan interview said that it was 5,000 people, and it was not. Maybe the article I read had it wrong. I might look around after that, and if anyone knows the difference, put it in the comments. But the article that I read said that the study was 191 people, with me being one of those, and maybe some people from the podcast that listen to the podcast when we had one of the researchers on to interview them when they were doing it. Maybe some of those were you guys. I don't know, but I thought it was like this huge study, and 191 people isn't that much. I will say when I got my results, I think I made a video talking about the results, but I was surprised to find out that on the days, they had you like guess if you think you had taken a microdose or not. And my results showed that I was about 50-50. That, half the days I thought I had taken a microdose, I hadn't, and vice versa. And it was also a very weird time in my life. It actually ended up being a pretty pivotal moment, to where during the course of that study, I was under severe financial distress, let's put it that way. And I'll get into that more. I'm going to have another financial video about my financial life in a month or so, and I'll talk about that period a little more. But regardless, that whole year I was trying very hard to get a job, and was going through like career, interview training and all these things, and getting all of these interviews where like I would end up being the second person, and down to two people, and then I didn't get the job and stuff like that. So I was, kind of frustrated and depressed at the time I was doing this microdosing study. And so the way they set it up, you had like some psychological evaluation questions to answer. I don't remember if it was daily or weekly or how frequently you had to do it. But I do remember, I was trying to be very honest with it, and I was not in the best place when I was doing that. And so the results and stuff showed to me. However, one of the key components of that time in my life was when I finally took the job I have now. On paper, it didn't seem very good. It seemed like not what I wanted. And basically, if I wrote down, what am I looking for in a job, it was almost everything that I didn't want. It was going to involve travel, being away from my family. It was a temporary thing. There wasn't even a guarantee that it would turn into anything, and stuff like that. So for me to even take the job took like a leap of faith. And if you watch my video about it, I made an analogy to Terrence McKenna's jumping into the abyss, finding out it's a featherbed, and it ended up being that. And looking back on that time, that period of very like intently following a microdose schedule, which was the last time I did that actually. Like I microdosed since then, but not on like a schedule and not with doing some psychological evaluation periodically to see where I'm at and assess myself. But looking back at that period of microdosing, I don't think I would have taken that jump without that. I definitely think, while it was a tough time while I was doing it, it's a key component of putting me in the right mental and spiritual place to be able to take a jump like that. And so I see that as a pivotal moment in my life and very beneficial. So that's kind of where I was at with that study. Well, if anyone hasn't seen the article, Google microdosing study placebo effect, because the clickbait title for this study getting its results published is that microdosing benefit or studies suggest that microdosing benefit could be due to placebo effect. And that's fine. I understand that. And if you go back to the interview we had with the researcher who set it up, he suggested that even under higher doses, that research showed that people believed to have mystical experiences when they thought they were taking big doses of psychedelics, and it turns out that they hadn't, and they had a mystical experience, and that the power of suggestion and the placebo effect can provide altered states of consciousness. And that's very interesting. But I think the way that they are broadcasting the results of this, and this is not a knock on the researchers. I thought the research project was set up very, very intelligently, and it takes a lot of balls to do a research project like that. And I really enjoyed the interview we had with the researchers. I really, enjoyed email conversations with him as well. So I'm not knocking them. It's more the reporting of it. And it has to do with two things. One, and the researcher said this, that they were mainly trying to, provide results that show that, hey, we need to do larger, more controlled studies on this. But also, our media and our culture put such a negative spin on that term placebo effect. So first off, the research study, it's only 191 people. And then on top of that, just because of the way we are with drug research, we had to provide our own material to microdose. And it could be LSD or psilocybin. All 191 people, or I think it could be any psychedelic. I'd have to look it up, but they mainly said it could be LSD or psilocybin, and you had to put that in there. They knew who took what, but you had to self-supply it, you had to self-measure it, you had to self-report it, and out of 191 people, I imagine there's a very wide difference in the dose, the quality and potency of the material, and also the honesty of the reporting. I'm not gonna lie, there were some days when I was reporting where I was like, oh, I forgot to do that, and just click through everything and didn't really fully kind of take my time, and there's definitely a couple days that happened, and I'm sure across 191 people I wasn't the only one. And then on top of that, just being 191 people, that's not a very powerful sample size to have really accurate results. So they don't really talk about that in the article. They kind of touch on that people had to self-report. They do say more studies need to be done because that was the goal of the researchers. But people are reading that, and there's a lot of skeptics to microdosing. They're like, see, it doesn't do anything. It's what, if you think you're taking something that's going to make you better, you're going to get better or whatever. And people have that attitude, and it's kind of, like I said, dismissing of what the placebo effect is. Because, what the placebo effect shows me, and not just in microdosing, in anything, is that the mind-body connection is stronger than we think. And if you expand that past drug, how a drug affects us, if we embraced the term placebo effect and was like, wow, our mind can heal our body, what else is our mind capable of? Maybe this is maybe the placebo effect is the magic of manifestation. That our mind is, in the human mind, is, obviously one of the most interesting things in humanity, but also potentially one of the more powerful things that can connect the spiritual world, the metaphysical world, the physical world, it's like the placebo effect. If you take that term as and are dismissive of it, you're almost just being a complete materialist and disregarding any sort of other forces that may be at play. That could be physics, forces of physics that we just don't understand or can't measure yet, which I've always talked about. Like, I think our brain is the instrument that science doesn't fully utilize in order to measure all of the forces of physics, and so on how I how that pertains to microdosing is that we already know on larger doses of psychedelics some pretty profound moments of manifestation can happen. If you look back to my first YouTube video talking about meeting Wayne Coyne, I had a very profound psychedelic experience the night before. How can you say that I didn't manifest, and move time and space and matter around with my mind to put me in a position to, in consensus reality, meet Wayne Coyne? How can you say that wasn't my mind? You can write that off as a coincidence, and it's very possible. But I don't know where I'm getting at. So that's with larger doses. I think it's entirely possible that taking psychedelics at smaller levels, stretched out over time, can have just as big of a reality warping, manifesting result. And I think that's something that this study was not powerful enough to really capture that. It's going to be hard to find scientific researchers that are trying to, get at the mind body reality connection, but I just don't like seeing the clickbait title of the results of an important study being so dismissive. So I hope that came out the way I am. Like I said, the utmost respect for the researchers. I am not picking on the study. It is more the way it's like kind of perceived and stuff like that. And I hope this study leads to other studies being done where dose and potency and all of that is taken into account and under control, and there's more people in the study, and it's just a more controlled thing. I hope that science isn't as dismissive of the results of this study as the media seems to be. And the other thing that the whole, if to take it on its word and say, yeah, it's a placebo effect. Like, if you think something's making your life better or making you more productive, then maybe you are. Well, then that leads me to, like, maybe we've got the whole microdosing term wrong, and that the whole goal of being sub-perceptual, to where even me, who is very experienced and should know, if I've taken a microdose or anything like that, maybe the goal of the microdose should be to definitely feel it, not to a point where you're inebriated, but be like, okay, here we go, kind of thing or whatever. And maybe that, can still, now I find, I haven't nailed that kind of dose down to be productive. And I know that's a big thing that people say with microdosing is it increases productivity and stuff like that. You walk a fine line of, you take too much and you're just stoned, even though you're not tripping or whatever. But maybe, instead of that, for me, like mushrooms, I aim for like 0.1, maybe 0.2, maybe 0.25 is what a microdose should be. I mean, and everybody's different, obviously. And like I said, potency is different. But maybe that sub-perceptual level that, James Fadiman, who kind of pioneered microdosing, came up with, maybe that's, a little too light and leads, maybe it's not as beneficial. I don't know. Leave a comment below what you guys think about microdosing, if it should be sub-perceptual or definitely something you feel, but you're not out of your mind. because that's obviously just a discussion to be had within the psychedelic community, within the microdosing community, what you prefer. But yeah, that's just, I more wanted to just kind of express my thoughts about the whole placebo effect and making people kind of dismiss it as like, if someone was thinking of microdosing and they're like, I'll see, it doesn't really do anything, whatever, and then doesn't do it. I mean, that'd be a shame. Although I think everyone should make their own decisions and not let a clickbait news article make decisions on how they're going to, explore life. But, because I've already seen that happen where there isn't a lot of studies done on CBD, or the studies that have been done, say, it doesn't really do anything, to where like it's made a big difference in my life. And even if that is a placebo effect, like from pain management and anxiety and depression and sleep, CBD definitely does stuff. And I've people in my family have dismissed it. I think it's something that could really help my dad. And he's like, I read an article in Popular Science that it doesn't do anything, or something like that. I can't remember where he read it, but I was like, okay, whatever, and I think it's really, in both those cases of microdosing mushrooms or taking CBD, the dismissive nature towards their potentially subtle effects, I think honestly is just leftover stigma of the drug board. I don't know. Like I said, leave a comment below. Let me know what you think about those thoughts. We can continue the discussion on the Discord server. Don't forget to smush that like button. I don't want to say smash like everyone else does, but smush the like button. And yeah, I'll try not to make it 3 weeks until I make my next video. But yeah, that's all I got for today. Thanks for helping find the others. Stay weird. See ya.